Welcome to Big Boy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest, you know what? It's the greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday, 5:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Snow Channel is working harder to keep you in the know when it comes to crypto. And today we're talking about your favorite topics. We got some really good ones. And today we have the best panel lineup we've ever had. He's coming back from a big bout in Vegas. Not in the squared circle, but with his business partner, talking about Sin City Crypto. You got to watch his last stream. The fireworks, they were out. They were definitely out there. Then Crypto Blood. I like your recent resurgence in social media. We're getting more of the life of a blood. Not like East LA or anything, but Crypto Blood. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Then right. On the bottom left, I think he got all his wires sorted. Brad V with some of the strongest internet, his side of the Mississippi. Then on the top left, it's been a while since he's been on the show. We're talking about crypto Avances. And what are we doing here? All right, now Ronnie, always good to have you on, and with your your outside American perspective, it's always good stuff. But we're going to be talking about Google interest in Bitcoin. I'll tell you this. I'm going to bury the lead. It's either a 12-month high or a 12-month low. We're going to get into that. Also, Voyager and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried playing the bailout role of all these other companies. Also, at the end, Solend's vote. There's a big issue with the Solana protocol, Solend, and what are they doing with the funds? We're going to get into that too. But before we do that, let's look at the crypto markets and see where things are heading. And they were in the green this morning with the morning stream. Now, maybe a little slight turn to the negative. I think we're at 20,700. Now it looks like 20,400. We have Ethereum holding support at 1,100. Crypto Blood, seeing a lot of analysts, Gareth Soloway, Crypto Face.
That's my guy.
Frankie. They're saying this, this might be just a short-term relief rally. I think there's some targets for a pullback at 24,000, possibly 26,000 Bitcoin. Does this feel like the end is over, or is this just going to be a short-term thing and we got another leg down?
Hey, man, DZ, I was on your show about 6-7 months ago saying 20,000. And look where we are, ladies and gentlemen.
People called you crazy. Again. They didn't believe you then.
They called me crazy. No, this is a relief rally. The markets will be opening tomorrow, so you'll probably see another sell-off Tuesday once the markets open back up. Thanks for having the chocolate face on for Juneteenth as well. Thank you. But yeah, I think we're heading lower, bro. We're going to test 14K, and then we'll see from there where we go. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. But I think we head lower for sure. This is a relief rally, in my opinion, DZ.
Yeah, no, happy Juneteenth, everybody. I actually grew up near Galveston and went to Galveston plenty of times. And the real story is a lot darker than the kind of the version that they share. But, that's a whole another story. But, yeah, let's talk about Bitcoin on Google. I said it's going to be a 12-month low or a 12-month high. Are you ready? It's a 12-month high for Google searches. Last time it was this high. You think about it, May of last year. So eclipse that is not a bad target. May of last year, a lot of people still talking about Bitcoin. Of course, June started to see that downturn. July, no one even remembered what Bitcoin was, it seems like. But we have, and it varies country to country. Let me know in the chat. I'll tell you in about 10 seconds. Let me know in the chat what country you think has the highest interest. But there's I'll look at some of the other ones. Nigeria scored pretty high. Switzerland scored pretty high. Turkey scored pretty high. Austria scored pretty high. America, not even in the top 10. I'm going to tell you, the number one country for Google searches, El Salvador. So no big surprise there. Now, Sin City, looks like people start to take a little bit of interest. Would you consider Google Trends a valuable, I don't want to say the metric or a great metric, but would you say it's a valuable metric to look at and when we're thinking about where Bitcoin's heading in price?
Well, you use Google Trends, or you use Google, just the masses use them. So if you want to know what the crypto community is interested in, or the investors are interested in, then at that point, I think that's a moot point. But if you want to know on the global scale, where are we fitting in and what are people's perception of Bitcoin is, then there's no better platform to look at than Google. It's the #1 search engine out there. And, I mean, I use Google. I think everybody here uses Google. But, you know, or actually earlier today, we were kind of on the same page. You want to pull up my laptop here? So I looked up on Bitcoin here. And so if you just type in Bitcoin is, you'll see that the top 4 searches here on Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Lo and behold, I had no idea. Bitcoin is also dead and going to zero, crashing. And Bitcoin is also the future wheel of fortune. Now, I don't understand where that comes in at, but as you can see, the sentiment on Bitcoin, at least for what people are searching, not that good. Also, one of the big search, the 5th biggest search hit was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an island or Bitcoin island. So, yeah, we looked that up today. So I'm not too sure, but now, you know, obviously you're gonna be at the top of the trending search when you're on both sides of the fence. You know, when there's a lot of buzz, when Bitcoin, remember earlier in mid 2021 or early 2021 when Bitcoin was hitting new all-time highs, and next thing you know, everyone was like, Bitcoin's at 30,000, Bitcoin's at 30,000. That's when, you know, Bitcoin's Google search trends was popping off. The same thing is happening right now. And you got your Peter Schiffs and you got your haters out here just typing away Bitcoin, just laughing away. So no surprise there, but it's kind of interesting to see what how the masses, people that aren't in Bitcoin, are viewing this asset. So
all right, well, Brad, I think Sin City kind of brings up a good point. Not all Bitcoin searches are good. We saw a lot of FUD style searches there. When you see Bitcoin trending on Google right now, 12-month high, are you considering this a bullish sign that's good, or a bear sign this is not so good?
Well, like Sin City, I was reading an article earlier today that talked about how the Bitcoin dead Google search was up like 90+%, or was like the #1 search that's been happening recently. So I agree with Sin City Crypto. It doesn't look good. The people that are talking about Bitcoin, the general public, don't have a positive outlook on it right now. You know, us that have been around for a while and understand how things work, we're still excited about it. We know that we're going to have opportunities to create, you know, unbelievable wealth over the next few years because of this downturn. You know, I've got so many friends and family that got in kind of as the bull market was going up, and that maybe doubled or tripled their money, and now they're frustrated. But I just keep trying to explain to them that, hey, this is absolutely a huge blessing in disguise. That if the market would have continued to go up, you might have made some money, but you wouldn't have significantly changed the wealth needle in your life. You wouldn't have had the freedom that I think we all want. I think the reason that most of us on this show are here is for freedom. We don't want to have somebody else telling us what to do when we want to do it, or, you know, when we can do it. We got involved in crypto to create financial independence for ourselves. And so this is an opportunity for the masses that haven't jumped into crypto yet to take advantage of this. Quit looking at it like it's a bad thing, and just start to understand that it's just an amazing opportunity for you to create wealth over the next couple of years. But yeah, man, the sentiment in the market on Bitcoin is definitely not positive, and just because people are searching it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing.
Yeah, and you know, just a shout out to our title team here. Raph gave us a really good title, Insane Manipulation by Google. I like that. That actually been a pretty good one. All right, now, Ronnie, we, you know, aren't seeing USA on the top 10 of this Google searches. So in America, at least, excitement is down. People fudding it is down. Just the overall Google trend search, it's not down. Definitely hasn't reached, you know, 12-month highs. Where, you know, for the people watching at home, where are you located, and what is the sentiment where you're at? I mean, are you hearing people talking about it at the cafe, at the sidewalk cafe with your baguette, or, you know, your little your fancy drink, wherever, you know, wherever you might go congregate with the public? What is the sentiment where you're from?
So I'm actually in Spain currently right now, and I don't agree what the other said about it is not possible. It's not positive searches. You know, why could it be a negative search? For me, I have a hard time to believe that somebody say, "Oh, Bitcoin, I hear about it. It's shit. So now I want to research." I don't think so. What would be the reason? You know, I think that any search on Google is a person that just heard about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is falling down, and it's thinking about, oh wow, wouldn't be this a good moment to invest? Finally we have to understand, Bitcoin is always going up and down the last 13 years. And that's part of the game. But we also have to understand that Bitcoin did something it never did before. Never, ever. It came below, the price came below the
previous all-time high. Yeah, first
the
time
previous the previous bull market top. Okay,
yeah.
It was so this had never happened before. So we have to understand that the market is changing. The market behavior is changing. The market participants are changing. There's not just anymore retail. Yeah, before institution was some kind of loving, oh, look, these guys, what they are thinking. So now they can understand Bitcoin is a real serious thing. They have to be inside. So they was not there when the ship was leaving the harbor. So what are they doing? They're trying to bring the ship back. So, and I think there are a lot of smart people that say, oh, wow, that's a huge opportunity for us. Let's jump on the ship. Let's jump on a boat. So I think the Google searches, and we see El Salvador, okay, that's obvious because they are concerned now because the president, he bought a lot of Bitcoin with the money of the government, of the state, of the tax, whatever. Yeah, they're concerned about it. But I think any other search is about people looking for an opportunity, because if there's a bad search, if I think, oh, Bitcoin is shit, so why should I even research about it? That's my opinion.
Just for everyone, wondering at home, I think it's obviously Cardano maxis typing in Bitcoin is dead with their Plutus scripts. It's them and their Plutus, they're those shadowy coders in the basement. All right, let's talk a little Voyager and Sam Bankman-Fried. Voyager cryptocurrency lending platform. They had a few issues here, and it came out that they had to secure a pretty sizable loan from Alameda Research, of course, headed by Sam Bankman-Fried, the curly-haired man himself. A principal loan of $200 million in USDC and 15,000 Bitcoin loan here. As Voyager said, their balance sheet is worth over $200 million, just to be clear. So they have more than their USDC part. But Voyager Digital stock, it is down 91% so far this year. And just this month, down 52%. People holding Terra Luna would say, hey, that's not that bad, though, if you really want to talk about it. But Sam Bankman-Fried, he came up and he said he felt a responsibility to step in and help players stem the contagion, even if Alameda were at a loss. Now, I have my own thoughts on this when it comes to these protocols and these internet companies operating at a loss. You can look at Amazon. Amazon didn't operate at a profit for many, many years. It is in the tech world, whether it's Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, oftentimes companies will operate at a loss during the growth stage. Now, I would like to hear some of your opinions here. Now, Sin City, they had a few liquidity issues. Do you think this stems more from mismanagement of the funds or just the market conditions? As Ronnie said, we had never fallen before that previous all-time high. It's just, maybe everyone's just a little shocked by how low Bitcoin did go.
Well, I think this puts front and center that exchanges are also not free of mishandling assets and money. If you're pretty much just providing liquidity and making your profits off of fees from the trades, you shouldn't be needing this amount of capital. So my assumption here would be that perhaps they're getting towards that underwater kind of level. Maybe they've leveraged some debt in some kind of way, and now they're scratching at the walls to not go under. Now that I'm not saying that's what's happening, but just from face value, that's a lot of money, $500 million. I for my small term loans that I get, I'm over at 20%, man. So I want to know how the hell they got a 5% loan on a $500 million, first of all. But that's besides the point. But what I'm concerned about is what would have happened if they wouldn't have got that loan, because right now there's not a lot of money flowing around in the crypto space. And so because of that, what would they have done if they wouldn't have got that loan? Because I don't think there was another creditor that would have lent that money out to them. I mean, there might be one or two institutions that have that kind of capital flowing around, and you know what? They're not just dishing it out. So for one, what would Voyager have done if they wouldn't have got this loan? Would they have stayed afloat? I know they're a publicly traded company, so I'm sure there's a lot of confidence in them, which is why Sam Bankman-Fried and Alameda Research has, lent them that money. But what happens to the smaller exchanges that don't have access to those capitals, that are probably in the same situation? So this snowball and this cascading liquidations that we've seen some venture capital funds and also from these lending protocols, perhaps we're going to see the same thing in the exchange markets, and maybe the smaller exchanges are over leveraged on debt, and they're taking undue risk right now, and there's nobody on the back end to bail them out. So I don't know. That's the way I look at it, man.
All right. Well, Crypto Blood, on that note, do you think that these platforms that are having issues, are they going beyond just that normal scope of risk when it comes to lending and, staking their assets? Or are they taking, are they just being safe and it's just things that maybe couldn't be helped? What do you think? I mean, is there blame to be laid here?
Yeah, as Sin City said, I mean, there is definitely some malinvestment going on. They're not using their capital the right way or over leveraging. So in my opinion, you hear Sam Bankman-Fried, and we're gonna rename him the Sam Bankman-Fried if he continues to go out here and try to save every crypto company out here. That's not how markets work, right? So you gotta get rid of the malinvestment, malfeasance, and let the market clear these individuals out, these players out the game. That's what a free market is all about. That's what cryptos is all about. And hey, we're seeing cats like Michael Saylor come out saying that he wants to get rid of all these crypto projects because it's having a bad effect on Bitcoin. No, this is what a free market looks like. This is what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to get rid of the people who took too much risk on, and they have to suffer the consequences. So I mean, in this case, okay, a one-off bailout of Voyager, okay, fine, but it sounds like he's wanting to go or asking other players in the crypto markets to bail out people in an altruistic type of way as well. That's just not how markets work. So I don't know what Sam Bankman-Fried is doing there.
All right. Well, we're talking a little malinvestment. We're talking a little malfeasance. Well, let's cut it to Draco Malfoy's cool uncle. Ronnie, we're having a lot of, every bear market. During the bull market, you got a lot of people saying 90% of things are going to fail. 90% of coins are going to fail. Is this what we're seeing right now? Is this just the bear market, cascading events of failures that we're going to see? And is there going to be more? I mean, can we expect more than half of these exchanges to maybe fall under?
Yeah, I have to admit that I was totally wrong about it. I was totally wrong. I know most of the YouTubers now are saying, no, I knew this, but I was totally wrong. I thought I would bet a large amount of money that Bitcoin was going to 150,000, 200,000, because all the calculation that we did based on the behavior, on the previous behavior of the markets, just was like this. We thought it will go more up and more up. And all the exchanges, we have to understand one thing. They are also playing with leverage. They are over leveraged, so, and this is always higher risk, higher reward, So I'm also, I don't agree with Sam that they should bail them out, because this is like in the nature, the stronger individuals, they survive, and the weaker, they must die. This is like the nature works. So now if you bail out these people, seeing that they committed a big mistake, so they will keep going, committing mistakes and maybe damage later investors or whatever. So I disagree totally. We saw that with the banks. The banks were, it's the same game. They play with our money. They build credit on credit, a big bubble, and then when the bubble bursts, then the government comes and bail them out. So they do it again over and over and over again. So I think that's not the right way. On the other hand, we have to understand that really in crypto, 200 million or 500 million, it's not such a big deal. For a normal company, for let's say normal business, it's a large amount. But 500 million in crypto is not such a large amount of money. But on the other hand, I think that in a normal world, normal economics, the company will go
Chat,
bankrupt, be sold, whatever, and this should be the way.
Chat is saying you got those Slytherin vibes, man. When you said the weak must die, I got chills.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is part of nature. Nature is brutal. Just I mean, just
Darwin,
watch
baby,
the
Darwin,
watch any kind of
Darwin.
Discovery Animal documentary there. All right, now Brad, final question on this topic. With these platforms that not necessarily fail, but maybe need a bailout, maybe need a little help, maybe need a little leg up here. I'm not talking about like a Terra Luna, but something like a Voyager or, you know, some other thing that maybe got saved by another whale. Will the crypto industry trust them again? Say Celsius digs themselves out of the hole. Will anyone trust them again? I know personally, I'll never stake with Celsius again, but what's your opinion on some of these other ones? Perhaps like even this publicly traded company. Can we trust them again?
You know, DZ, I agree with you. I wouldn't trust Celsius with 1 penny of my money, even if they get themselves out of this situation. And it's frustrating for me because I love some of these platforms. I've been doing some one-on-one consulting lately. There's a lot of people that are interested in crypto that are scared of it and want an expert's opinion. So I've been kind of trying to help some people out one-on-one. And I've actually been pointing people towards Voyager a little bit, because I was big in Nexo and in Voyager. I never really got tied up with Celsius, but I love my Nexo account. I'm frustrated because it got frozen. You know, I'm grandfathered in on everything that I've got in on it, but I'm earning, 14% on my Polkadot. I'm earning 14% on my Matic. And that's huge when you're talking about an asset that is going to 5, 10, 20, 50x over the next handful of years. So your interest is actually 50, 100, 200, 300x, or not 300x, but 300%. And so this really frustrates me because I want to see these platforms do well. And it's, like Sin City Crypto and Crypto Blood said, there's got to be some misappropriation of funds going on there. They're not taking our best interest at heart, which in business, in what I've always been taught my whole life, is things got to be a win-win-win. It's got to be a win-win. And the way that you create a successful business is you add more value to the people that you're serving than you take. And so I would like to see some crypto companies actually put their customers, the people that are investing with them first, and then enjoy the spoils as things come down the line. It feels like in crypto, so many companies got these cash grabs. They want to get the money and they want to get it in their pocket first. And then they hope that they can deliver a product that will make their investors money down the road. And I would like to see that reversed. I'd like to see some companies that make their investors money and become successful, and then start pulling out some money. So no, I don't think that anybody should ever be excited about investing with Celsius.
With those misappropriation of funds, I mean, that's how you get those 14 and 12 and 10% returns, man. So in my opinion, I think that those days are gone, or at least if you're gonna be in those percentage brackets, I mean, you're playing with fire, man. Because how do you even create those percentage yields? You have to, go out there and leverage assets that you have on hand that people are locking up.
You have to take more risk,
and then go out and lend it to other people. And that's how we got into this mess in the first place.
Yeah, I will.
I'm not saying I don't like those returns, but in a down market where nobody's borrowing, no exchange is really borrowing from another exchange, or a lending platform borrowing from another lending platform. So I think that's when the market is what it is right now. These institutions aren't able to leverage and generate so much revenue back to pay off these big yields.
Yeah, I think we're at a watershed moment in DeFi.
I agree with what you're saying, but on the flip side,
we're in a watershed moment with DeFi because at this point, the interest rates that we were getting, I don't think we'll get again. I think we're going to be lower than where the traditional markets are yielding. We see the Federal Reserve increasing their interest rates. So money is going to be more costly. I think we're going to have an inverse. We're going to see the DeFi world have yields lower than your traditional markets going forward.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. We could talk about this all day, but yeah, I mean, I think we all got a little bit greedy when people were making that 20% successfully for month after month after month. You saw some for 15, 14. That seemed a little normal because, hey, they're making 20 over there. Why can't I make 12? But yeah, in the history of markets, 12% year after year after year is just impossible and, non-sustainable. All right, let's talk a little Solend and what they were doing. That whole story, it's not too complicated, but essentially it's a lending platform, and they put together a proposal to take over a whale's account that was facing liquidation. These numbers are a little bit shocking. He deposited $170 million worth of Solana, and then to borrow against 108, or borrowed against that to get 108 million in stablecoin. So deposited 170, retrieved 108 million in stablecoin, and then they stood to lose $21 million if the liquidation went through. Now, that liquidation was going to happen on chain, which is going to create a large sell order. And so the protocol voted, let's do this over the counter. There's a lot of people saying, they're just trying to take over, changing everything. It was still going to get liquidated, just going to be liquidated over the counter. Now, Sin City Crypto, you had a pretty heated debate about this with your business partner. He might even pop up on camera while we're talking here.
Get him, partner.
What is your take on this? Because, I kind of propose it's semi-similar to, say, the government stepping in and freezing a citizen's account if it was going to be good for, the benefit of an economy, the benefit of everybody's dollar value. Say Bill Gates or, Elon Musk was facing a big event. Imagine, the government stepping in and taking over. What was your argument? How did that stem? And, what's your take on this?
Well, as you mentioned, we do have a dual co-host show, so we go back and forth. But my co-host's point of view is that it's a decentralized program. Let the code play itself out in the way it's designed and the way it's structured. But what else is structured? They also put in a DAO, and so the DAO can make decisions for the group for the betterment of the chain. And if you're looking at a doomsday scenario where one wallet is going to get liquidated and bring down basically, the platform, or liquidate other people, and basically hundreds or not thousands are going to lose millions of dollars, then at this point, maybe it is a good idea to step in. And I know at face value, it sounds terrible, but here my reason on this. You know what? You're talking about somebody's debt that is going to be basically liquidated. So at this point, it doesn't belong to him anyways. I mean, if you're going to get liquidated, your funds are gone. So why not step in right before the funds are gone and then acquire that debt and liquidate it off chain so it doesn't destroy the protocol? I mean, if you can save people money and accomplish the same thing, why not? And I know everyone's all on this whole well, it's a decentralized platform. Well, Solana ain't decentralized. Get out of here. And so with that said, you might as well save some people some money, man, and some grief. And the last thing I want to hear is, I'm over here in my chat doing my live stream. And then next thing you know, people are popping up in my chat talking about they got screwed over and lost money. What should they do? Let's just avoid all of that. And, I liken it to buying somebody's debt. So in the same way that if I don't pay my Target credit card, for example, Target doesn't own the debt when it goes to my credit bureau later on. 2 years down the road, Target still doesn't own it. They sell my debt to somebody else and get it off their hands, so that way they're not liable for it anymore. Why can't we just do the same thing when it comes to decentralized networks? Let a DAO step in and be like, this isn't in the interest of our network. Let's buy this debt. It's going to be liquidated anyways. Guy's going to lose it regardless. Why don't we just secure this debt and then settle this off chain so it doesn't crash the damn network? That's what I.
But yeah, chat definitely stepping in. A lot of people are saying the DAO wasn't fair. It definitely isn't one person, one vote. Think of it closer to one Solana, one vote, and the whales just had undue influence. But when they put up the reverse proposal, it did pass 99%. Now, Ronnie, do you think a DAO should be able to freeze a user's account if the DAO is a part of a lending platform?
Absolutely. I agree with what Sin City Crypto just said. But I don't agree with Solend can or is able after to invalidate this decision. So then what is it all about? If there is a centralized organization, institution that can invalidate the decision of the DAO, so then why we need a DAO for? That's the point that I'm concerned about. So as he said, why not? Why not? Because we want decentralization. We want the DAO because we want all be part of it. We want have the right to give our opinion or vote or take the decision as a group, as a community. So, but if then there is a centralized institution say, oh no, it's not valid, so then it doesn't make sense at all, you know. And obviously, they should protect themselves. They should protect all the DAO. They should protect the community. And if there is something they can do, and they cannot violate, or they are not violating the right of another person, as here, he will anyway lose the money. So then I'm absolutely in favor to do it. I'm not in favor that it can just be invalidated. So
yeah. I mean, it was in the fine print. There is a DAO, and that is part of that platform. Now, Crypto Blood. This kind of brings us to this overarching narrative we've seen over the last month, which is not your keys, not your crypto. Moving forward, can staking platforms survive, or are we going to have to wait for maybe that new crop of faces 2-3 years from now? Then, will the OGs continue to use lending platforms, or are they dead?
No, they're not dead, but you're definitely going to see a sink in confidence when it comes to all the various DeFi protocols and platforms out there. It's just funny to me. I see people were upset and calling. I think the article talked about something about like, messing up the ethos of decentralization or something like that. That people were upset at the DAO. Well, that's like the kettle calling the pot black, in my opinion. I mean, Solana itself is one of the most centralized blockchains out there. So, I mean, this is a move that was, as Sin City said, I do understand the scenario and why he leans on that direction, for the decision to take it over by the DAO. But at the end of the day, I think you just got to let the code kind of be law. Let's try to get back to that, because once you do that, now it's going to be, that's the precedent. That's the watershed moment. Now you're going to have every other excuse, every other project's going to want to do the same thing. And you're just eroding away the decentralization ethos that we're trying to build. Well, some of us are. So,
yeah. All right. Well, Brad, I'm going to keep us on the same pattern here and the same path. We're talking about trust. Did Solend lose all trust with this? And, is this something you would use? I think I know the answer.
Yeah, I've never used Solend, and I definitely don't like the way they handled this situation. Whether it was right or wrong is almost kind of besides the point to me. I'm kind of with Crypto Blood. You gotta let these things play out to a certain extent and do what you say you're going to do. You can't try to push a vote through in the middle of the night and backdoor it. And, in my mind, this gentleman, whoever this person is, they still had opportunity. They could add to their position. They could pay down part of the loan. There's lots of things that they could do to keep this from being liquidated. And on the flip side, yeah, maybe if he does get liquidated, it creates some temporary pain, but it also creates massive opportunity. Once again, anytime there's massive pain, there comes opportunity. Like, I've got some friends that I really had it out with because they didn't want to quit going to Blockbuster Video. They were refused to sign up for Netflix. Folks, man, that's progress.
Yeah.
You got to go and do what is new, what is right. Why would you want to go to a video store and rent a video and have to drive, blah, blah, blah. But this kind of stuff, folks, it's important to let it play out the way that it's supposed to play out. Keep the companies true to their word. Make sure that they did and are doing what they say they're going to do. That is the only way to create long-term trust. There's no way that people are going to start using these platforms and really get the mass adoption, the trillions of dollars in market cap that cryptocurrency deserves is not going to happen until these companies step up and do what they say they're going to do.
All right. Yeah, you unlocked two memories for me right there. One was I saw a guy at a Redbox with probably a month ago, and I just remember thinking, one, those still exist. Two, you got a DVD player. Three, those still exist. And then the second memory, the video game Max Payne. Yeah, I didn't want to feel it with my portfolio. I wanted to play, feel it with my Nintendo 64 controller. But that is all we got time for today, and it looks Like, we got a winner with Sin City Crypto.
Nice.
That is Sin City. Feel free to leave us with some parting thoughts, please, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you guys for the win, man. Much love to Ronnie, man. It's good to meet you. I haven't seen you before. Definitely got to check into your channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to him as well as Brad and Crypto Blood. Great guys here. Hey, man, I just want to say that, you know what? Don't try to freaking find the bottom. Don't try to get the cheapest price possible. Everybody knows, man, Fear and Greed Index is under 10. Prices are super discounted. Who cares if you buy Ethereum at 1100 or at 800? Not financial advice, but you're not going to time the bottom. You're in a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. Pick it up now. Preserve your wealth. Retire early. Thank you.
That's all we got time for. Until next time, BitSquad. Peace out.
Not for